Well, I knew this day was gonna come. On this channel, I talk about some of the risks that VeggieTales would take, especially with the LarryBoy episodes. Some of them worked well to the story's advantage, while others, kinda made our hearts drop. Now, in the Bible, there are many topics and stories that can be seen as controversial today. Now, imagine if VeggieTales needed another Bible story to adapt. Well, let's see. Let's do a quick recap. Okay, so what do we got? Daniel in the lion's den. Yeah, that was a bit tame. Get it. Good Samaritan with a Dr. Seuss vibe. We did that one. Well, I guess the next Bible story is the one where a vicious tyrant tried to burn 3 people alive, but failed to because God intervened. Yeah, you guessed it, it's Rack, Shack, and Benny. The 4th video in the classic VeggieTales series, Rack, Shack, and Benny had its own controversies back in the day. Not because of its conscious choice to do an adaptation of Nebuchadnezzar's failed attempt at barbecuing 3 guys for not bowing to a big statue. No. But because of a song that would ultimately work against this video. But you'll see when we get there. Now keep in mind this review is long overdue. I've been wanting to review this video, but like so many developments with LarryBoy, but now he's taken a hiatus for the umpteenth time. God. Anyway, let's stoke this fire and dive into the bunny song. I mean, Rack, Shack, and Benny. Dang. The video opens with Bob and Larry on the countertop, and yeah, don't mind the oven mitt on Larry's head. Or we can just watch him fall into the sink. Apparently, oven mitts on the head are fashionable.
Dexter, while I try to get Larry out of the sink...
Boys in the sink, the boys are back. We then segue to the feature story with George as our reliable narrator. He introduces our 3 characters, Rack, Shack, and Benny. Oh, but wait a minute, guys. We gotta get our obligatory introductory song out of the way. Well, that's exposition for you guys, explaining what this chocolate factory is, who runs it, and who our main leads are. It's like riding around an amusement park where they just show you everything all at once. By the way, this chocolate bunny looks really, really scared because he's going to Hades. Now, let's hear our narrator try to justify the antagonist's craziness. Come on, George, let's hear it.
Now, Mr. Nez is not a bad man. He just gets confused sometimes. Why, his chocolate bunnies are selling so well, I think he's gotten a little big for his britches.
Speaking of Mr. Nezer, let's tune in for the announcement.
Attention, little people! I have an announcement!
So this is Mr. Nezer, you guys. Yep, let's get that studio audience in. Alright, so this is Nebuchadnezzar, or in this case, Nebby K. Nezer, played by the one and only Phil Vischer. And you know what, this is all before DreamWorks had called him out for being white and playing a black stereotype. A bit overreactionary on their part, if you ask me. Anyway, Mr. Nezer is an imbecile and allows his employees to eat their entire inventory. What the actual heck? Well, there goes your sales. No wonder there's an Easter Bunny shortage this Easter. By the way, hi Mr. Lunt, can't wait for his cheeseburger. So all the employees massacre all the chocolate bunnies in the factory. Well, except for these guys. By the way, with Junior working at the factory, wouldn't this count as child labor? But anyway, Junior, or Shaq, he convinces his friends to not eat any more bunnies, citing what he learned from his mother's song back when he was a baby. It's a pretty good song, by the way. In fact, I did a cover of that song on my channel once. It's pretty good. You should check it out. If you think of me, I'll be with you. Though I admit, that's more tasteful than my stab at the League of Incredible Vegetables theme. LarryBoy, he's watching this video, y'all, and reacts to it live! So by the time Mr. Nezzer walks out of his doors with the silly boom sound effect...
Hello!
Quick, hide that Jimmy Davis video!
Your new best friend, Bunny!
I knew I should have taken that left point.
Mr. Nezzer finds that Rack-Shack and Benny aren't sick from eating the chocolate bunnies. And what do you know? They get a promotion! And that promotion is to hear this guy rave about building a giant bunny. Yay! Oh yeah, and they get to wear copies of Mr. Nezzer's necktie. Hooray! But all that's nothing compared to what's gonna happen next.
I love the bunny. I don't love my mom or my dad.
What?
The bunny. I don't love my soup or my bread.
Wait a minute. I thought it was not loving your mom or dad.
I won't go to church, and I won't go to school. I won't eat no beans, and I won't eat tofu.
Okay, so wait a minute. You went from not wanting to go to church or school to not wanting beans or tofu? What is going on, my man? In case you haven't noticed, there are various versions of the bunny song. The first one involved the lyrics, I don't love my mom or my dad, and I won't go to church and I won't go to school. However, it was reported that when kids started to sing this song in real life, a lot of people got concerned. The parents were like, oh my gosh, what did this video do to my kid? Luckily, before people brought out their torches and pitchforks to condemn VeggieTales, Big Idea responded immediately by changing up the lyrics to, I don't love my soup or my bread, and I won't eat no beans and I won't eat tofu. But then, as an extra way of saying I'm sorry to the people, Big Idea released a quote-unquote new and improved bunny song, where Mr. Nezzer repents for his chocolate bunny fetish.
Yeah, I'll go to church, and I'll go to school. That stuff is important, and I ain't no fool.
You can hear all about that on the Rack-Shack and Benny DVD, by the way. I mean, the comedy writes itself, folks. Now, it's hard to not feel sorry for the people that found this song catchy. I mean, I find it catchy. So no matter what, you guys, this song is cursed. So Mr. Nezzer warns that if somebody refuses to sing the bunny song, then they're quote-unquote a bad bunny. Although he doesn't say it like, oh, I'm gonna send you to the furnace if you don't sing the song. No, he says this.
Let's just say, in my mind, if you don't bow down and sing the song, you're a bad bunny.
You're really pushing the G rating for this video. Or is it TVY? Does it even have a rating or something like that? I don't know. So the gender reveal, bunny reveal ceremony takes place.
Your new best friend, the bunny!
It's a boy! Just kidding. While everyone sings the bunny song, Rack-Shack and Benny stay silent. This has Mr. Nezzer literally going to them and demanding them to sing. Now, if only I can use that contraption to head over to NBC Universal and tell them to quit copyright claiming some of my videos. Instead of singing the song, they sing Junior's mom's song. And it turns out Mr. Nezzer repents.
Oh, that was beautiful. I'm gonna be singing that song myself.
Just kidding.
As I throw you into the furnace, God sees them.
We interrupt this escalation in conflict for a silly song about a cucumber and a sombrero trolling a tomato for not dancing and singing as good as him. I wish that was a joke, but it's not. Anyways, back over to you, LarryBoy Fanatic. After that commercial break, which kind of seems a bit distasteful, seeing that we're going straight into the conflict, we see Mr. Nazar slip further into madness by jumping onto the conveyor belt with our tied-up heroes, jumping onto another one, riding this spinny thingy, going back to the conveyor belt. Jeez.
Will you or will you not?
Subscribe to LBF's channel and get her to 1,000 subs. Had to throw that in. Anyway, our three guys still refuse to sing the song, and it's furnace time! Dun-dun-dun! Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun! But fortunately, Laura saves them, and then there's this chase scene. Yawn. Just imagine that they were running away from the fib. Then this chase scene would be epic. Don't look at me. And going with the theme of being an imbecile, our heroes get captured again. But this time, Laura pulls the plug to Mr. Nazar's reign of terror. Or so they think.
Trouble!
At this point, there is no G rating or TVY rating. I mean, those ratings flew out the window several scenes ago. But anyways, you guys, Deus Ex Machina! Well, just like in the original story, our three heroes make it out alive. And Mr. Nazar is relieved that he won't be going to jail for attempted murder or bad business practice. Again, child labor.
Is there anything I can do to make it up to you?
Retirement! Rather than having Mr. Nazar cancelled for his heinous crimes against humanity, they all sing a song about standing up for what you believe in. Another good song in my opinion, but we just got done seeing a life or death scenario. Mr. Nazar, your factory is haunted. Anyway, after waterboarding Larry for trying to sing the What We've Learned Today song, great, even one of the hosts has to be sadist. Bob gets Larry out of the sink, and we end with 2 Thessalonians 2:15. Side note, you guys forgot about chapter 4 of Daniel, where Nebuchadnezzar goes insane. Then we could have seen Mr. Nazar be taken to the loony bin. That would have been great. That would have been genius. And you know what? That would make a good creepypasta. Yeah, I want to see Mr. Nazar get thrown into an asylum. He could sing his bunny song there, like, whenever he wanted. 24/7. But anyway, this video. It was good in my opinion. I mean, it was a bold choice for VeggieTales to do an adaptation on the Nebuchadnezzar story from the Book of Daniel. But hey, who are we to judge its early 90s animation and its message on standing up to peer pressure? As for the bunny song, you know darn well that people are never gonna forget the controversy behind it. And the fact that it's catchy. With 3 versions on record, you can decide which version is the best. As for Mr. Nazar over here, despite his insane ramblings and questionable business practices, he's always good for a laugh, folks. Always good for a laugh. Just ask this bunny. He was the first to offend Mr. Nazar, to trigger him, with his ears. Thanks for watching! If you like this video about VeggieTales showing a near-death experience, consider checking out this video with a near-death experience. But unlike Rack Shack and Benny, this one was caused by his own stupidity.